Saturday Baseball presented by Lowe's from Camden Yards in Baltimore. Second of a three-game weekend series between the Baltimore Orioles and the Tampa Bay Rays. And a good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Fox Saturday Baseball. I'm Kenny Albert, along with Mark Grace. Tampa Bay won the opener of this series last night in the rain, 6-2. The Rays started the season 0-6, but they have turned things around, and the defending American League East champs now trail the first-place Yankees by only one game.
Now they're back to doing exactly what they do best, Kenny, and that's beat you with starting pitching. The Rays struggled early in the season because they didn't hit. They've always had the good starting pitching, but now they get Evan Longoria back, so that's certainly going to boost this Tampa offense.
Well, the Tampa Bay Rays look to make it two in a row here in Baltimore. It's the Rays and the Orioles coming up next, right here on Fox. Batting order is brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. The left fielder Sam Fold will lead off, followed by second baseman Ben Zobrist. The designated hitter Johnny Damon hits third. Evan Longoria in the cleanup spot. Then right fielder Matt Joyce. Center fielder B.J. Upton. Bottom of the order, first baseman Casey Kochman. Shortstop Reed Brignac. And the catcher John Jaso. Here at Camden Yards on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. The opening pitch brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Rays getting set to face the 32-year-old right-hander Jeremy Guthrie, who is terrific in defeating the Rays on opening day down in St. Pete, but he has not won since. Guthrie 1-4, earned run average of 3, 6-7 lifetime against the Rays.
And the scouting report on Jeremy Guthrie is, boy, he needs a lot of help from the Oriole bats. They just have not supported him really since he's been in the major leagues, and he needs to get out of the gate quickly. He tends to struggle and give up a lot of runs in the first 2 innings. Once he gets through those first 2, he can cruise.
Sam Fold takes a called strike one. Terrific story during the early portion of this season. And Fulton lines out to the first baseman, Derek Lee, his former teammate with the Chicago Cubs. The Orioles defensively brought to you by Scott's. In the outfield from left to right, Scott, Jones, and Markakis. Lee at first, Roberts at second, Andino at short, Reynolds at third, and Matt Wieters behind the plate. So the battery of Guthrie and Wieters. One away. Here's Ben Zobrist. 25 runs batted in, third in the American League. He's also third in the league in runs scored.
And just about all those numbers.
That's right.
In a doubleheader in Minnesota last week, or this week.
Drove in 10 runs during that twin bill against the Twins.
Amazing.
In fact, over a 5-day stretch mark, he drove in 18. Last player in the American League to do that, Reggie Jackson, 1969.
That's pretty good company. 10 RBIs in a doubleheader. I went 0 for 10 in a doubleheader one time.
That is probably easier to do. Rays have had 3 consecutive players of the week in the American League, including Zobrist.
Just a testament to how well they've been playing since that opening week.
Fouled off to the left side. Now 1-2 on Zobrist. Johnny Damon from April 10th through 17th. American League Player of the Week. Then James Shields, the winner here last night, followed by Zobrist. After the 0-6 start. Base hit into left field. So the Rays with a one-out base runner here in the top of the first inning.
What a beautiful piece of hitting there by Ben Zobrist. Takes a breaking ball that's on the outer corner and just swats it the other way. Good 2-strike hitting right there for Zobrist. You try to pull that pitch right there, you're just going to ground out to the second baseman. That was just beautiful there by Zobrist.
So with Zobrist on at first, here is Johnny Damon. Damon batting .261 in his first season as a Ray, and he has been terrific not only on the field but in the clubhouse, in the dugout, as he has been throughout his major league career.
Yeah, talking to Joe Madden before the game, and he was just gushing over what Johnny Damon has brought to this ball club, the leadership. And it also helps to have 23 RBIs, too. He swings right through a good fastball there by Guthrie.
16-game hitting streak for Damon last month. Tim Timmons behind the plate. The crew chief Jeff Kellogg at first. Eric Cooper at second. Mark Carlson is at third.
4 of the best in the business here this afternoon.
0-2, and Damon goes down on strikes.
No, Guthrie gets this ball to move almost a good foot off the outside corner. Johnny Damon lunges, comes up empty.
So now 2 away. Here's Evan Longoria, playing in just his 7th game this season. Missed 26 games due to the strained muscle in his left side. Activated from the disabled list earlier this week. And what an important piece to the Rays puzzle Longoria has been over the last 3 seasons.
He's just been such a terrific player ever since he got to the big leagues as a very young man. He's made a very difficult game look awfully easy.
3-time All-Star. Rays have won the American League East twice over the last 3 seasons. Finished 6th in American League MVP balloting last year. One from Guthrie, catching the inside corner. Now 1-2.
Didn't throw it exactly where he wanted to throw it, but nonetheless, it still buckled Longoria. Good stuff out of the gate so far for Guthrie. Now it's important for him.
You mentioned the lack of run support for Guthrie. Over his last 5 starts, the Orioles have scored 6 runs with Guthrie in the game.
It just doesn't seem fair because he is a terrific young pitcher.
Fastball missing inside, 2-2. Guthrie, originally a first-round draft pick by the Cleveland Indians back in 2002. Acquired by the Orioles on waivers prior to the 07 season. And he has made 3 opening day starts for Baltimore, including this year against the Rays, when he allowed only 3 hits in 8 innings.
Sometimes you do get lucky off the waiver wire, certainly. The Orioles have gotten this talented young man for the Indians. What a great story they are this year, the Cleveland Indians.
First place in the AL Central. Zobrist goes, and Longoria drills it into the left field corner. Zobrist around third. He will score. First run batted in of the season for Evan Longoria. An RBI double, and the Rays take a 1-0 lead.
Well, one thing you know you're going to get when you watch a Tampa Bay Rays game, you're going to get a bunch of athletes at every single position. Runner going. Beautiful job of pulling his hands in nicely on a fastball in, yanks it down the line, and Zobrist, who is running on the pitch, scores easily. And that's what Joe Madden can do with all these athletes. He can put them in motion, and that led to the run right there.
Curve is in for a strike. Matt Joyce at the plate. There's Joe Madden on the left, who's done such a terrific job with these Rays. Winningest manager in franchise history. Foul back to the screen, 0-2.
Yeah.
Joyce batting .341 after a slow start. Started the season just 1 for 20. And with runners in scoring position, he is 8 for 16. Longoria takes his lead off second.
Last 10 games, that's good stuff. 1 for 20, you feel like you're never going to get another hit out of the gate, but Matt Joyce, just about everybody on this Rays team is just heated up. A beautiful pitch there. Didn't get the call from home plate umpire Tim Timmons. Guthrie wanted it. Timmons wasn't in the charitable mood.
Guthrie missing away, full count. Payoff pitch to Joyce. Right field, Markakis under it. And that will do it for the Rays, but they strike early. First run batted in of the season, Evan Longoria. One start. Orioles batting order brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. The second baseman, Brian Roberts, leads off, followed by right fielder Nick Markakis. Derek Lee will hit third. Then the DH, Vladimir Guerrero. Left fielder Luke Scott. Center fielder Adams Jones hit sixth. Then the catcher, Matt Wieters. Third baseman, Mark Reynolds. And the shortstop, Robert Andino, as the Orioles get set to face the 24-year-old right-hander, Jeremy Hellickson. Comes in with a record of 2-2 in 5 starts, 6-2 in 9 career starts for the former 4th-round draft pick back in 2005, who was the Baseball America and USA Today Minor League Player of the Year last season.
Keep an eye on him today. He's pitching on 8 days rest. He may be a little bit too strong, and when you are a little bit too strong, the ball tends to be up in the zone, so he needs to keep it down, and that's when he has his best results. He tends to keep the changeup and the fastball right around the knees. That's why he's been so successful.
Hellickson faced the Orioles twice last season. 1 start and the other appearance out of the pen. Here's Brian Roberts leading off for Baltimore. Roberts batting .232, just 1 for his last 18. Roberts, Markakis, and Lee for the Orioles here in the bottom of the first inning, with the Rays leading 1-0. Tampa Bay scored 3 early runs last night, 3 in the second inning, and they went on to win 6-2. Orioles swept the season opening series down in St. Pete, holding the Rays to just 1 run in each of the 3 games.
Orioles got out of the gate great.
Great start out of the gate.
That's exactly right. And Brian Roberts was one of the guys that really carried the load. Got off to a great start, but he's struggled lately. Beautiful change up there.
2-2. You're absolutely right. In that opening series against Tampa Bay, Roberts drove in 5 runs.
Not going to drive in many on a beautiful changeup like that. And we talked about Hellickson. He needs to stay down around the knees. And he certainly has his first 4 pitches.
2-2 to Roberts. Fouled off to the right side. Coach Showalter's done a terrific job with these Orioles. 48-40 since taking over during the 2010 season. 34-23 last year. Roberts lifts it into right field. Joyce backpedaling, 1 away. Rays have been terrific defensively this season. They've committed the fewest errors in the American League. The defensive alignment brought to you by Scott's. Fold, Upton, Joyce from left to right of the outfield. Kochman at first, Obrist at second. Brignac at short, Longoria at third. The battery of Hellickson and Jaso.
When it comes to starting pitching and defense, you're not going to find any better teams with better combination than the Rays.
As you mentioned, an athlete in every position as Markakis signals into left field. So the Orioles with a 1-out base runner here in the bottom of the first.
And that's a good sign for Oriole fans when you see Nick Markakis hanging around under 220 here in May. You just think pretty soon this kid is way too good a hitter to be hanging around down there. That was beautiful right there, taking a fastball away and just swatting it the other way for a base hit.
Orioles had only 5 hits in last night's game. So if Markakis on at first, here's Derek Lee. Last night, 6th inning. James Shields delivers, and Lee takes him deep. 3rd home run of the season for the longtime Chicago Cub.
Brought him in here to provide a little veteran leadership, and still one of the great glove men of all time at first base. But sitting on only 8 RBIs, that's a low total for his caliber of hitter. That changeup is devastating so far for Hellickson.
No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bottom of the first inning from Camden Yards. Rays scored a run in the top half when Evan Longoria doubled in Ben Zobrist. 2 from Hellickson, and Lee is down on strikes.
Another changeup, another swing and miss. And you see the great arm swing. It looks like a fastball all the way. Joe Madden was raving about the changeup that Hellickson possesses. Boy, it has been really good here in the first. Gripping it way back in the palm of his hand. And throwing with that same arm swing.
So with 2 away, here's Vladimir Guerrero. One of the trio of veterans brought in by the Orioles during the offseason, including Lee and Mark Reynolds.
Some guys that have driven in a lot of runs in their career. And we're looking for these veteran hitters to come in and add a little punch to a lineup that struggled last year.
Guerrero actually taking the first 2 pitches.
I was going to say, that's usually, must be a weekend or a holiday, because that's about the only time he takes pitches.
Mother's Day tomorrow.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Guerrero went the first 115 plate appearances this season without drawing a walk, but he has walked twice his last 8 trips to the plate. (2-0) from Hellickson. Ball 3.
Whoa, what is going on?
There are the numbers, Mark.
That is just hard to do. No walks in the first 115.
Luke Scott waiting on deck. Markakis, the runner on first with 2 outs. Here comes the 3-0. Guerrero swings. Longoria fires across. And the Orioles are retired in the first. The official lawn care company of Major League Baseball. And by Sprint, all together. Now, back in Baltimore, Kenny Albert, Mark Grace. We move to the second inning with the Rays leading the Orioles 1-0. As B.J. Upton steps in to face Jeremy Guthrie. It was announced within the last hour that Major League Baseball has suspended Upton for 2 games after he was ejected for arguing balls and strikes in a game this past Wednesday by Chad Fairchild, but BJ has elected to appeal the 2-game suspension, so he is in the lineup today.
He got awfully heated at Fairchild. And if you've seen what went down between Upton and Fairchild, I'm kind of surprised he's appealing it, to be honest with you.
Upton's player profile, huge fan of European soccer. BJ stands for Boss Man Jr.
Boss Man Jr.
His dad, a longtime ACC college basketball official. Nicknamed Boss Man.
Him and his brother Justin out in Arizona.
Guthrie quickly off the mound. One away. They both hit game-winning home runs in the same day earlier this week. BJ and Justin.
BJ was a walk-off in Tampa last week, and then a little bit later that night on the West Coast, Justin did it in Arizona.
First set of brothers to hit game-winning home runs on the same day since the Alomars back in 1996. Roberto going into the Hall of Fame later this summer.
Well, people forget just what a game changer Roberto Alomar was, defensively and offensively.
Casey Kotzman at the plate. Kotzman batting .345. Started the season in AAA. Good numbers lifetime against Guthrie. 6 of 14. Center field, Adam Jones. 2 up, 2 down here in the Rays' second. Time for our Ford keys to the game.
Well, for the Rays, if it ain't broke, well, don't fix it. And right now, they're just playing great baseball, getting great pitching, timely hitting. And for the Orioles and Jeremy Guthrie, go back to April Fool's Day, because that was a day where Guthrie got his first and only win of the season on opening day. 8 shutout innings against these Tampa Bay Rays. He's already given up one more run than he did in that game, but he's going to have to keep this red-hot Rays team at bay and hope his team can swing the bats for him.
Guthrie has won his last 3 decisions against Tampa Bay. In fact, he has more career wins against the Rays, 6, than any other team in baseball. One and 2 on Reed Brignac, the Rays shortstop, who is still looking for his first extra base hit this season. But if it's going to happen anywhere, he loves playing here at Camden Yards. 14 of 28 in his career in this ballpark, with 3 of his 9 career home runs here in Baltimore.
I was going to say, it's not like this kid doesn't have a little bit of power. He's got the ability to hit it in the seats, hit it in the gaps. Just hadn't happened so far this year.
2-2, off-speed pitch, and the Rays are retired in order in the second. Buds. Bottom of the second inning from Camden Yards. Tampa Bay Rays lead the Baltimore Orioles 1-0. Rays scored their run in the top of the first inning. And Mark, we talked about the lack of run support for the Orioles' Jeremy Guthrie. On the other side, different story. Jeremy Hellickson has received tremendous run support from his teammates this season. The Rays have scored over 9 runs per 9 innings, and Hellickson starts this year.
Yeah, he wakes up every 5th day in a really good mood.
Yes, he does. Luke Scott will lead things off. Scott, Jones, and Wieters for the Orioles here in the bottom of the second inning.
Luke Scott has really blossomed since coming over to the Orioles from the Houston Astros. Kind of a fourth outfielder, kind of a guy that didn't get a whole lot of playing time in Houston. But boy, he has been a rock in the middle of the lineup for the last couple of years here in Baltimore.
Team MVP last year. With 27 home runs, drove in 72 runs. Batting .259 so far this season. Rays employing the shift. And Scott rounds out to the second baseman, Zobrist.
What's going on here, Kenny? I'm going to get out Luke Scott. I'm going to get out Adam Jones.
Your guess is as good as mine.
I'm going to get out Matt Wieters. Talk to me, Hat.
Did he learn that in his hometown of Des Moines, Iowa?
Well, I don't know where he learned that. Baseball players, we can be a goofy bunch there, Kenny.
Adam Jones rips this one into left field for a base hit. What was your biggest superstition?
My superstition was more wins and losses. If the team I was on, be it the Cubs or the Diamondbacks, if we won the game, the next day I would take the same route to the ballpark. And if we lost, I would take a different route to the ballpark. You know, I was on some bad teams, so I had to take a lot of different routes to the ballpark in Chicago for a few years.
Would it carry over to meals?
Miles out of the way.
Would you have to eat the same breakfast, the same lunch?
I wasn't like that.
With Jones on at first, here's Matt Wieters. As it translated to your days as broadcaster, if you have a really good broadcast, you take the same route to the ballpark the next day?
That's not a bad idea. I haven't thought about that. I probably should. What about you? Any superstitions in the hockey world or the football world or the baseball world?
Not too many. Never blown into my cap like we saw from Hellickson.
Well, the hockey world is a pretty superstitious world, isn't it?
It is. I'll have to get back to you on that one.
I was going to say, some of those beards are pretty scraggly these days in the playoffs.
That's right. The Tampa Bay Rays have actually taken part with their brethren, the Tampa Bay Lightning, as far as the superstitions go and trying to help out. The Rays had a recent road trip to Toronto, and they wore Lightning caps and T-shirts. And the Tampa Bay Lightning have not lost since. The Lightning have gone 7-0 since the Rays wore those Lightning caps and T-shirts.
Joe Madden, one of the most superstitious managers, and we saw Dave Martinez as bench coach.
Wieters draws a one-out walk. Well, next week, Fox Saturday Baseball is back in prime time. The Red Sox head to the Bronx to take on the Yankees. plus other regional action. Fox Saturday Baseball in prime time, presented by Lowe's, begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Now, you and I will be in Los Angeles for the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers, so if you take the same route to the ballpark, I think we'll have an idea of what you thought of your broadcast the previous night.
Remind me to do that next week.
Here is former Diamondback Mark Reynolds, a guy that you've watched over the last 4 seasons. His first year here in Baltimore, comes to the plate with 2 on or only 1 out.
And it's always exciting with Mark Reynolds. He's turned himself into a very good third baseman. We're going to get a meeting on the mound here as Hellickson struggles a little bit.
Pitching coach Jim Hickey.
And everybody joining the get-together. Every infielder come to the mound as well.
Hellickson has thrown 5 straight balls, 4 to Wieters and now 1 to Mark Reynolds.
But Mark Reynolds, a guy that turned himself into a very good third baseman. And now Tim Timmons, the home plate umpire, going to go break up the meeting. And Reynolds also a guy that Oriole fans, you're going to see him hit eventually, before the year's over, a ball's going to go in the upper deck off this guy's bat. He has got light tower power. He's hit some of the longest home runs I've ever seen, period, whether I'm playing or broadcasting. But he's also going to strike out a lot of times, too. So don't go to the refrigerator when he's up.
He's led all of baseball in strikeouts each of the last 3 years.
Now Hellickson missing pretty badly with everything. Might have to give that cap a talking to.
The last 6 pitches from Hellickson have been balls.
Beautiful fastball right at the bottom of the kneecaps to get that elusive first strike.
Reynolds under 200 this year as well, batting just 194. Two and two.
Reynolds thought that pitch sailed inside. And now Buck Showalter giving it to Timmons from the Oriole dugout. Awfully close pitch. Looks like it could have been called inside. Reynolds not happy with it, and neither is Buck Showalter over there in the Oriole dugout.
Jones the runner at second. Wieters takes his lead off first, and now time is called as Reynolds awaits the 2-2.
Hellickson really slowing things down out there right now after the Orioles got a couple of base runners here.
Full count.
Tried to get Reynolds to chase something off the plate, the breaking ball, nothing doing. Now it's decision time for Buck Showalter. Do you send the runners and try to stay out of the double play here with 1 out? Or do you leave them be? And I think that's the right thing. As much as Reynolds strikes out, you're really putting a lot of trust in a guy that struck out over 200 times last year to send the runners. But with a curveball that time to Reynolds, he was able to fight it off. Crowd trying to get behind Mark Reynolds and the Orioles. Nice crowd here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon in Baltimore, Maryland.
Pitch, ball 4, as Hellickson misses low and away. Orioles have loaded the bases here in the bottom of the 2nd inning.
Well, a really good at-bat there by Reynolds, a guy that, as we talked about, tends to strike out a lot, but he really made Hellickson work, laid off some tough pitches, and drew a big walk. Now, the Orioles trying to put a big number on the board.
The number 9 hitter Robert Andino at the plate. He's done a nice job at shortstop, filling in for the injured J.J. Hardy, who is expected back over the next couple of days, rehabbing in the minor leagues. Bases loaded, only 1 out. Check swing, strike 1.
Just youthful exuberance right there. After guys walk back-to-back batters to load the bases, first thing you do is you're coming out swinging. You get a breaking ball down and away into the dirt, and it's strike 1. It's situations like this, as a hitter, you have to be even more patient. All the pressure's on the pitcher. You have to make him throw the strikes.
Fastball in for strike 2.
And after you chase one down and away, it seems like it never fails. A perfect pitch with the next delivery right on the outside corner at the knees.
Orioles 6 for 13 with the bases loaded this season. First opportunity for Andino. Ryan Roberts waiting on deck. The 0-2 from Hellickson. Now 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, he certainly taunted him with that breaking ball, but that time Andino was able to lay off of it. Just missed the inside corner that time. 2-2. Hellickson tried to come in with a fastball there, Kenny, but he missed his spot, went right down the middle, but he got away with it as Andino was only able to scrape it foul.
21 pitches so far this inning for Hellickson. He retired the leadoff man, Scott. Jones singled to left, and then back-to-back walks to Wieters and Reynolds.
Very good changeup that time. Andino just able to stay alive by nicking it foul. That's what you have to do as a hitter. All you young hitters out there, if you can just foul off the really nasty pitcher's pitches, you give yourself an opportunity to get a mistake with the next pitch. And that's what Andino did there. That was a great changeup, but he stays alive, and he may get a mistake here.
Andino down on strikes. Now 2 away.
Oh, what a time to rear back and throw it past him. Let's see how this entire at-bat went down between Andino and Hellickson. We're going to see a few pitches here. He jumps ahead with the breaking ball and got the swing. Perfect pitch there. Now he lays off that pitch. Now he just misses that inside corner. That was the pitch he needed to hit right there, because he eventually got one right to the inside corner, could do nothing with it. Another beautiful changeup. And right now you can see Hellickson, he's feeling good about things now. He's quickened his pace. He's starting to puff the chest out a little bit. It's amazing what strikeouts with the bases loaded will do for a pitcher's confidence.
Bases loaded, 2 outs. Now 2 on Roberts.
First pitch change up. Then he rears back and gets 94 miles an hour right on the outside corner to jump ahead of Roberts 0-2.
26th pitch of the inning from Hellickson. Roberts fouls it off back behind third. John Jaso out for a chat with Hellickson. NASCAR tonight on Fox, 7 Eastern from Darlington. Go-to from Hellickson. Roberts stays alive.
Once again, a really good pitcher's pitch there. Brian Roberts this time able to stay alive. Dave Martinez looks like he's been going to the Brian Wilson school, the closer for the San Francisco Giants. Former teammate of mine, Dave Martinez in Chicago.
Bench coach with the Rays.
Hellickson wastes one up and away. I would imagine Hellickson trying to set up that very good changeup of his. Let's see if he goes with it here after the fastball up and away to try to speed up Roberts. Let's see if he slows him down with the changeup here. And once again, he wasted another fastball.
Roberts pops it up. Catch is made by the shortstop Brignac. A 30-pitch inning. Hellickson escapes the bases loaded jam. with the Rays leading the Orioles 1-0. We welcome those of you who have been watching the Red Sox and the Twins now in a rain delay. Kenny Albert, Mark Grace in Baltimore, top of the third inning. Tampa Bay Rays, a game out of the American League East. 6-2 winners here last night. Rays leading the Orioles 1-0. Baltimore stranded, the bases loaded in the bottom of the second inning.
Had a big opportunity to put a big number on the board, did the Orioles, in the bottom of the second. But Jeremy Hellickson made some huge pitches when he had to. That's kind of his M.O. And that's kind of Tampa's M.O. They just find a way to make the big pitch just about every time they need to.
Hellickson 30 pitches in the last half inning, did not allow a run. And now a 3-1 count on catcher John Jaso. Will be followed by Sam Fuld and then Ben Zobrist. Jaso draws a leadoff walk. First walk issued by Orioles starter Jeremy Guthrie today.
And that just, school is open now for Joe Madden, manager of the Tampa Bay Rays. He's got a guy that can handle the bat in Sam Fuld. And even though Jaso is a catcher, he runs pretty well, so he may be able to put on a hit and run. He may even have Sam Fuld drop down a bunt.
Fuld swinging at the first pitch. Skies it to right. Markakis is under it for out number one. Rays scored their run in the top of the first inning after Zobrist singled to left. Evan Longoria driving in his first run of the year with a two-out double. And then, as we mentioned, Jeremy Hellickson loading the bases in the bottom of the second inning. But Brian Roberts pops out to the shortstop, Reed Brignac, to end the Orioles' threat. So with one away and Jaso on at first, here is Zobrist, who extended his hitting streak to 13 games and then scored the Rays' run back in the first inning.
We were thinking Joe Madden might be able to spin the managerial wheels, but Sam Fuld just went up and popped up the first pitch he saw. As you said, all is well in Tampa Bay because their hottest hitter is at the plate.
Fuld struggling at the plate after the great start. He was batting .350 a week and a half ago, but now just 2 for his last 37.
He could have been the mayor of Tampa there for a while.
Yes. Came over in the Matt Garza deal from the Chicago Cubs during the offseason. And that one gets past Derek Lee down the right field line. Jaso in at third. So the Rays threatening here at the top of the third inning now have runners on second and third with only one out.
Well, that's a play you'll see Derek Lee make just about 9 out of 10 times. It just gets right under that left paw of his, and down the line it goes. And now it's Jeremy Guthrie's turn to have to make some big pitches in a tough situation. Second and third and only one out, and Johnny Damon with an opportunity.
Damon struck out his first time up. Second and third, one out. Strike one.
Guthrie just poured a fastball right down the middle, and Damon took it.
Guthrie missing inside, now 1-1. Tampa Bay Rays started the season 0-6. They are now 18-14, second place in the American League East. Damon reaches out, shallow center field. Coming out to make the catch is Jones. Jaso holds at third.
Well, Adam Jones had to run a long ways for this little would-be Texas leaguer. He showed some great closing speed to run it down and save a run. And he could even blow a bubble while he's making the catch. Now that's talent.
Excellent job by Adam Jones. Multitasking. So with 2 away, here's Evan Longoria, who returned to the Rays lineup this week from the disabled list, drove in his first run of the season back in the first inning.
You and I have trouble walking and chewing gum. Adam Jones can full on sprint and blow a bubble.
I guess there were no bubbles blown while you were playing first base.
Like I said, I had enough on my mind.
Guthrie missing low and away, 1-1. Longoria playing in only his 7th game this season. Missed 26 games due to the strained muscle in his left side. Rays went 15 and 11 with Longoria on the DL, and he drills this one to deep left field. It is out of here. A 3-run shot for Evan Longoria. He's driven in all 4 Rays runs today. Tampa Bay now leading 4-0.
Well, what a shot to the heart that was to Jeremy Guthrie. Made a huge pitch to Johnny Damon to get a big second out, and then Evan Longoria, welcome back. 2 at-bats, 4 RBIs. A fastball in that he just cuts off and hits about 15 rows deep, way out of here to left field. He knew it. The Rays knew it. Nice grab out there, but it was by a fan. And Jeremy Guthrie just got his heart broken by the all-star Evan Longoria.
Longoria averaging 29 home runs over his first 3 major league seasons, his first this year. And he's driven in all 4 Tampa Bay runs.
Well, beware AL East. Evan Longoria is back, and that's going to make a terrific team even better, as that was ripped into center field by Joyce for a 2-out single.
Matt Joyce with the Rays' 3rd hit of the inning. So with 2 away and Joyce on at first, here is B.J. Upton, who bounced back to the pitcher Guthrie, his first time up. Just prior to the game, Major League Baseball announcing a 2-game suspension to B.J. Upton after he was ejected from a game earlier this week against Toronto, but B.J. has elected to appeal. What is it about the Rays scoring tons of runs on the road this season? They've gone 9-4 away from home, including 6 straight wins. They're averaging 6 runs per game on the road, only 3 runs a game at home.
That doesn't make much sense. Since baseball began, it just seems like players always play better at home than on the road. I'm sure those numbers will, as that was thrown away. Well, just a basic pickoff play. And then once again, that one gets under the glove of Derek Lee. Lee having a tough inning. There goes an error on the pitcher, but that's one that Lee will tell you that he's going to catch that ball 9 out of 10 times.
Oh, 1-2 now on Upton.
Let's take a look at the Longoria swing. Look how he pulls his arms. And that pitch is a good couple of inches inside, but he pulls his arms in close to his chest and gets the head of the bat right to the baseball. Look at the head right on the baseball and just drive it way out of here. That would have been fun to be able to do that.
He did it once or twice. Upton down on strikes, but the Rays add to their lead as Evan Longoria takes Jeremy Guthrie deep. 4-0 Tampa Bay. third inning. So we are pleased that you have stayed with Fox, joining us here in Baltimore with the Tampa Bay Rays leading the Orioles 4-0.
Yeah, just come down the East Coast a little bit. It is a beautiful day here in Baltimore, especially if you're a Tampa Bay Ray. They lead 4-0.
Rain last night here in Baltimore. They played through it. Game won by the Rays 6-2. Did you ever have a day like Brandon Guyer did yesterday?
No. I don't think many guys can say they did. Just a handful. Why don't you tell us about it?
Nick Markakis at the plate for the Orioles. Brandon Guyer last night became the 108th player in the history of Major League Baseball to hit a home run in his first Major League at bat. There's Brandon, called up from AAA Durham. Markakis with a base hit into center field. Second inning last night off Zach Britton. And what makes it even better, Brandon Guyer grew up about an hour south of Baltimore in Herndon, Virginia. Attended the University of Virginia. On the left, his wife, Lindsay Murphy, who is a sports anchor at the Fox affiliate, Fox 5 in Washington, D.C. She did the 6 o'clock sports last night. Got in the car, drove to Baltimore. Unfortunately, was in the parking lot listening on the radio when her husband went deep.
Just missed it, huh? Well,
By minutes.
She got caught in that Beltway traffic on Friday, I would imagine.
So you weren't the only one.
I had a lot of company.
Derek Lee takes inside. They met, Brandon and Lindsay, when she was covering the University of Virginia baseball team.
Okay.
When Brandon played there. Married during this past off season. First player to ever hit a home run in his first Major League at bat here at Camden Yards. Did it in front of 20 friends and family members. Longoria at the second for one. Out to first. Double play.
It's just so easy to see why the Tampa Bay Rays are certainly going to be right there come September. They're just such a good, sound defensive ball club. You get the ground ball, Longoria, Gold Glover. That's as crisply as you can turn a double play right there and get out of a possible jam.
So 2 outs, base is empty for Vladimir Guerrero. Grounded out to Longoria, his first time up. After taking 3 consecutive balls from Hellickson.
That just doesn't happen. That doesn't happen to Vlad.
We mentioned earlier he went his first 115 plate appearances this season without drawing a walk. But has walked twice over the last 3 games.
2-0. Well, I think the word certainly for pitchers is you don't have to throw Vladimir Guerrero strikes. But he can also hit the wide ones into the gap too. Ball 3. What is going on here? Is that Haley's Comet we see out there?
Both at bats today. 3-0.
Okay, this is getting ridiculous here, Kenny. Vladimir has walked 3 times this week.
Something in the air. Guerrero walks on 4 pitches. Third walk issued by Hellickson. So now Luke Scott steps in with the Orioles trailing 4-0, bottom of the 3rd inning here in Baltimore. Evan Longoria has driven in all 4 Tampa Bay runs. Scott grounded out to the second baseman Zobrist. Once again, the Rays employing the shift. Scott grounded out into the shift his first time up.
Breaking ball in the dirt. Nice job by Jay So to save 90 feet.
Shortstop Brignac playing on the first base side of second base.
And that's just got to mess with your head when you see 5 defensive players in the area that you usually hit the baseball. One, two, three, 4, 5. And nobody on the left side of the diamond.
Fastball catching the outside corner, 1-1. Scott got off to a rough start last year. Wound up winning the team MVP award.
Well, when the weather warms up, so do a lot of hitters, and Luke Scott certainly falls into that category.
One from Hellickson. Missing inside. Now 2-1.
Hall of Famer Ryan Sandberg. 3 things guaranteed in life: death, taxes, and Sandberg hitting under 200 in April. But boy, when he got hot, it was fun to watch. Wasn't a whole lot of fun to hit behind because you hit with the bases empty just about every at bat. Beautiful change up there from Hellickson. 2-2. Scott's thinking, I know a fastball's coming. I know a fastball's coming. Way out in front of this changeup. Beautifully executed. Jason wants another changeup.
2-2. And for the second time, Scott grounds into the shift, thrown out by the second baseman, Zobrist. 3 innings in the books, 4-0 Rays. Rain in Boston with the Red Sox leading the Twins 1-0. Top of the 3rd inning at Fenway. So we will keep you here in Baltimore, where the Rays lead the Orioles 4-0. Top of the 4th inning. Casey Kochman leading off, and he drills the first pitch into the right field corner. Kochman in at second with a stand-up double.
Well, wasting no time, Casey Kochman gets the first pitch he sees from Jeremy Guthrie. It's a breaking ball that stays right in the middle of the plate, and he just rifles it down the right field line. And for these Tampa Bay Rays, there is no pity in these guys. They just continue to pound away at you inning after inning.
7th hit of the game for the Rays. Here's Reed Brignac. Struck out his first time up, and now flies out to the left fielder, Luke Scott. Today's game, presented by Lowe's, is sponsored by the all-new Focus from Ford. Drive one. By Klondike Ice Cream. What would you do for a Klondike bar? And by ExxonMobil, taking on the world's toughest energy challenges. Hard to believe this is the 20th season for the Orioles here at Camden Yards.
I still think if it's not the best, it's got to be in a lot of people's top 3.
Ballpark opened in April of 1992 as Jaso takes strike one. And you were here in '93, took part in the All-Star game.
Exactly. National League took it on the chin that game.
The only game you ever played in this ballpark.
Very true. I got the famous Randy Johnson pitch over the head of John Kruk. That was right here. I was 2 batters later. I was really excited to dig in against Randy Johnson after that.
You were the DH that game.
I was the DH. I got to face. I went 0 for 3, and I'll tell you why as soon as this pitch comes.
Rip foul down the right field line.
The 3 reasons that I went 0 for 3 in that game were Mark Langston, Randy Johnson, and Jimmy Key.
Pretty good excuse.
So I went 0 for 3. National League lost, and then I got one more at bat in an All-Star game a couple years later, and I also grounded out, and that was off of Mariano Rivera. So I'm hitless in All-Star games. Just missed with an 0-2 breaking ball in the outside corner.
Our statistician Ben Boma points out you played more career games in the Tokyo Dome than here at Camden Yards.
I did. That's very true. Opened the 2000 season. That was fouled back here. Nice try, Kenny. Almost got that one. The 2000 season, the Chicago Cubs opened up with the New York Mets in Tokyo.
Kochman the runner on second. Jaso awaiting the 1-2 from Guthrie. Called strike 3. 4th strikeout for Jeremy Guthrie. Well, Fox Sports is proud to support Stand Up to Cancer and their work to fund groundbreaking research that helps accelerate treatment to patients. To learn more, please visit standuptocancer.org/Fox Sports. And we are proud to lend our support.
Very much so. As Sam Fold steps in. Guthrie gave up a leadoff double to Casey Kochman, and he still stands at second base with 2 outs here.
Fold 0 for 2, lined out to Derek Lee at first and fly to right. Ground ball to the shortstop, Andino. So Kochman is stranded, middle of the 4th. Still 4-0 Rays. Bottom of the fourth inning, Tampa Bay Rays leading the Baltimore Orioles by the score of 4-0. And we are joined live from the Rays dugout by last night's starter and winner, James Shields. Another tremendous performance here last night, 7 1/3, 3 hits, 1 run. James, thanks for joining us, and congratulations on your recent success.
Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's been fun so far.
It's now 4 straight starts where you've got at least 7 innings and have allowed 1 or fewer runs. So tremendous start to this 2011 season for you as Adam Jones steps in, leading off against Jeremy Hellickson, and he takes a called strike, 0-1.
How's it feeling going back-to-back with David Price? You guys have to be considered one of the best back-to-back duos in the game right now.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of one of those things where we're all feeding off each other. Price is throwing some seeds at me right now, but
now somebody's giving it to you pretty good.
But no, it's been fun. I mean, it's been a blast. I mean, you know, our starting 5, we have such a blast in here, and we feed off each other. And you know, when you see Price going 8, 9 innings, and you know, and then I'm behind him, I feel like I need to do something like that. So it's been really nice.
Can you tell us a little bit about the youngster out there, Hellickson, right now?
Yeah, he's definitely well beyond his years. He's very, very composed out there. He's you know, he takes control of the game, and he wants to go out there and pitch well every 5th day for us. And you know, he works hard. He's learning a lot about pitching. You know, watching the other 4 guys in the rotation, and you know, with his stuff, he's going to be really good.
Adam Jones flying out to B.J. Upton in center. My question, James, was Price throwing strikes with those seeds?
I think he missed me almost every single time, so he might have a little dead arm after his last outing.
so the command has not been good.
No. He didn't hit me one time at about 500 seeds. So.
Matt Wieters at the plate. How about the return of Evan Longoria? Came off the disabled list this week, and he's driven in all 4 runs for you guys today. Yeah, man. I mean, he made some phenomenal plays yesterday behind me, and especially in the weather we had yesterday. It was pretty rainy out there, and you know, obviously today he has 4 RBIs and a nice little homer there. Wieters at the plate with 1 out. Bottom of the 4th inning now. James, your cousin is longtime Major League outfielder Aaron Rowand. I want to know about these legendary conditioning and training sessions that you and Aaron have gone through together.
Yeah. He, you know, when I was in the minor leagues, he actually brought me out to Vegas. He kind of drugged me out there a little bit. I wasn't really doing too much of myself in the off season. Didn't really know how to work out and stuff. So he brought me out there, and I ended up staying out there for 5 years and working out with him. You know, his kind of work ethic is phenomenal. I mean, he's one of the best guys as far as work ethic goes, and you know, one of the hard-nosed guys in the league as far as I'm concerned. And you know, he's a good guy to look up to, and luckily he's my cousin. And, you know, I get to look up to him.
We talked about David Price, a terrific young rotation, and your manager Joe Madden said earlier this year he would put you guys as a group as Wieters draws a 1-out walk up against the Philadelphia Phillies rotation. So I'm sure. You know, you guys certainly drew confidence from that statement from your manager.
Yeah, you know, I think Joe has a lot of confidence in us, and he's right. I mean, I think we have a great staff. You know, I think one of the main things what we do as a staff is we go deep in the game and we save our bullpen. I think that's one of the main things that we focus in on every single year, and if we can go deep in the game and save our bullpen, give us a chance to win, that's what it's all about, and we've done a good job so far this year.
Well, it looks like you guys are having a good time down in the dugout. What is the other 4 days for you when you're not pitching? What are those days like for you?
Oh, it's nothing but work.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. So well, today I came to the park about 8:30 to start my running and working out, and you know, it's a long little process. I mean, we throw our bullpens in between. We work out pretty much every single day. We run every single day, and once the game starts, it's our time to have the best seat in the house and watch the baseball.
And how about this division, James? Again, you know, you have the Yankees in first place. Red Sox struggled early. You guys get off to the 0-6 start as Wieters moves to second. What's it like pitching in this American League East?
I mean, it's definitely tough. There's no doubt about it. I mean, there's no weak spot in any lineup in the East. So, you know, it's been tough. I mean, I'm not really sure how all the other leagues, you know, fare. I've been in the East my whole career. So, you know, one out of all 5. I mean, we're all tough. So I mean, it's a battle every single game we play them, and you know, it definitely is hard here.
And you know you're going to go up against Sabathia your fair share at times. You know you're going to get guys like Lester and Burkett and guys like that in Boston. So I guess you have to think also that guys like that are saying, man, I got to go up against James Shields. I got to go up against David Price. It's kind of a good feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd like to hope so. I'd like to hope that they definitely are going to have a hard time with us. We're going out there competing every single day, and we're here to stay. I think over the last few years, people in this league understand that we're here and we're here to compete. And it's not like the 06-07 Rays where it's kind of an easy walk, easy win. We're definitely going to compete and battle.
Who's the one guy, James, that you absolutely hate to face?
Oh my gosh, I'd probably have to go right across the diamond here. Probably Vlad Guerrero, man. I mean, this guy. I remember pitching one. I think I threw a changeup. It hit the dirt, and he smoked it right back at me. So it's kind of tough. I mean, you just never know what you're going to get with Vlad. I mean, you just got to mix up your pitch, mix up location. I mean, he's one of the best hitters in the game.
Couple of doubles last night for Vlad. Game won by the Rays 6-2. James Shields' third win of the season. Rays lead the Orioles 4-0 here today with Mark Reynolds at the plate. Full count. Wieters runner on second.
A guy like Mark Reynolds at the plate, a guy that's so dangerous, but also a guy that strikes out a lot. James, what are you throwing right here, 3-2?
I'm probably going with the changeup right here. Base open.
He went with the changeup and he got him.
There it is. Yeah, base open. You got to go with that changeup with Reynolds.
Good to see. You're going to be a color analyst when you're done playing this game, James. Very nice. There's the grip on the.
Yeah, you definitely have to think about the situation. I mean, you got a guy Reynolds. He's a good power hitter, and you got a base open, so you got to throw a changeup right there.
James, how about your manager, Joe Madden? Always very engaging with us. What's he like to play for?
Oh, he's phenomenal. I mean, this guy's Mr. Positive, man. I mean, there's never any downs in what he does, and he has fun, and that's what it's all about. Oh, there you go, Samo.
The analysis from James Shields. James, thanks for taking a couple of minutes.
Good luck, kid.
Hey, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Great catch by Sam Fold. 4-0 Rays here in Baltimore. Still raining in Boston. Red Sox and Twins played 2 innings. And we are told the situation will be reassessed at 3:15 Eastern, about 40 minutes from now. We come to you from sunny Baltimore with the Rays leading the Orioles 4-0. And Ben Zobrist leading off for Tampa Bay here in the top of the 5th inning against Jeremy Guthrie. And Zobrist has his 3rd hit of today's game. Let's take a look back, Mark, at the catch made by Sam Fuld, which ended the last half inning.
Well, he has added such great acrobatic defense to this Tampa Bay outfield, saving a run there. And if you've been watching Tampa Bay Ray baseball a lot this year, you've seen a lot of that from Sam Fuld. And if you're a Cub fan at all, you saw that with the Cubs as well the years prior.
You look at those 2 trades the Rays made during the offseason, one with the Cubs, the other with the Padres, sending Matt Garza to Chicago, Jason Bartlett to San Diego. 5 of the players acquired in those 2 deals are on the 25-man roster.
Are here and contributing, exactly. Right now, I love Matt Garza. You can get 5 guys in a deal. Well, you got to pull that trigger.
5 in the majors, some other terrific prospects as well. As Johnny Damon is safe at first. Orioles get the lead runner Zobrist at second. So 1 away. Time for our Jeep game summary with Tampa Bay leading 4-0. Evan Longoria has driven in all 4 Rays runs. RBI doubled in the first. And then a 3-run homer in the third. All of the runs coming with 2 outs. And Jeremy Guthrie, again, not receiving any run support
at all. Orioles have had some opportunities. They just haven't cashed them in. And on the other end of it, Jeremy Hellickson has made the pitches when he's had to. 4 2-out runs. Those are the daggers for an opponent. When you have a pitcher out there that's 1 pitch away from getting out of an inning and putting a 0 on the board, and then all of a sudden, bang, there's 4 runs. That just takes the heart out of an opponent.
And as you mentioned, Orioles have had their chances. They loaded the bases in the second. They've left 6 runners on base, at least 1 in each of the first 4 innings. Longoria, right field. The catch is made by Markakis for out number 2. So the Orioles retire Longoria for the first time today. With 2 away, here is Matt Joyce, who grew up in Tampa. Now playing for his hometown Rays. Originally came up with the Tigers. Joyce 1 for 2, singled his last time up, fouled back to the screen, 0-1. Rays started the season 0-6. They are only the 8th team in baseball history to start a season 0-6, and then later that season, 4 games over 500. And we are still in early May, so a long way to go. High aspirations for these Rays. Joe Madden told us before the game, it's gotten to the point now we expect to win.
And right down the line, every single player, every single coach, they all believe they come anywhere.
Base hit up the middle, second hit of the game for Joyce. Damon heading for third, and he is in. So Johnny Damon goes first to third on the Matt Joyce base hit.
Second hit of the game for Joyce, and a risky play there by Johnny Damon. Barehanding a rocket to third base, and that left foot of Johnny Damon just ahead of the Mark Reynolds tag. Good call over there by third base umpire Mark Carlson.
So now first and third with 2 outs for B.J. Upton. 0 for 2, struck out his last time up. Upton born in Norfolk, Virginia, and you look at the cradle of players that came out of that area. They all played together as youngsters. The Upton brothers, Mark Reynolds of the Orioles, David Wright of the Mets, and Ryan Zimmerman of the Washington Nationals.
Michael Kadire was a couple years prior to those guys.
That's right.
So there is something in the water there in Norfolk.
And hard to believe at 26 years of age, Upton is now the senior member of the Tampa Bay Rays.
No, that just doesn't seem right.
Second overall pick back in 2002 by Tampa Bay. Time is called by the home plate umpire, Tim Timmons. Rays threatening here in the fifth. They lead the Orioles 4-0. Evan Longoria has driven in all 4 Rays runs.
Took a lot off that breaking ball there. Upton didn't bite. And he jumps ahead. Beautiful fastball right there. Surprised Upton with it, and all he could do is stand there and watch it go by.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 5th inning here in Baltimore. Right field, Markakis, warning track, looks up, it is out of here. 3-run home run, B.J. Upton extending the Rays lead. It is now 7-0 Tampa Bay.
All 7 runs today with 2 outs for the Tampa Bay Rays. My goodness, did B.J. Upton put a charge into this fastball? Way out of here to right field. Just a quick swing through the zone about 10-12 rows back. And now the Tampa Bay Rays pouring it on.
Rays fans pleased that Upton elected to appeal the suspension.
Yes.
A 2-game suspension handed down earlier today by Major League Baseball. So as Mark said, all 7 runs have come with 2 outs, and 6 of the 7 via the long ball.
The more you watch these Tampa Bay Rays, the more you're impressed. The starting pitching, the timely hitting, the athleticism at every position, their defensive ability.
The number 2 through 6 hitters in the Rays lineup today have got a combined 8 for 15. 6 runs scored, 6 runs batted in.
There's the contact right there. He lets the ball travel, does B.J. Upton. He just drives it way out of here to right field. He is a lean, and he looks like a skinny guy, that B.J. Upton, but he is some kind of strong. That is a long ways for a right-handed hitter to hit a baseball here.
Kotsman, left field, and it drops in for a base hit. 4th hit of the inning for the Rays. Well, next week, Fox Saturday Baseball is back in prime time. Red Sox head to the Bronx to take on the Yankees, plus other regional action. It all gets underway at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Prime time on Fox next Saturday as Brignac drills this one. And that will do it for the Rays in the fifth as they add to their lead. It is now 7-0 Tampa Bay. Kenny Albert, Mark Grace from Camden Yards in Baltimore. Tampa Bay Rays won last night's game 6-2. They have a 7-0 lead as we move to the bottom of the fifth inning, with Brian Roberts leading off for the Orioles against Jeremy Hellickson. As the run support or lack thereof continues for both of today's starting pitchers.
Well, you're exactly right. You called it before the game. One guy gets a bunch of support, that being Hellickson. He's sitting on 7 runs through 5 innings, and Jeremy Guthrie just wondering what he's got to do to get a couple of runs on the board for himself. But on the other end of it, he's also given up a touchdown today through 5 innings.
Ball with 2 outs. Brian Roberts 0 for 2.
Hellickson with a lot of breathing room now.
Jeremy Accardo up and throwing in the Orioles pen. 3-1 on Roberts, who came to the plate in the second inning with the bases loaded and 2 outs and popped out to the shortstop Brignac. Full count with Nick Markakis waiting on deck, then Derek Lee. Hellickson, 78 pitches, has not allowed a run on 3 hits through 4 innings. His 6th start this year, 10th of his career. Roberts draws a leadoff walk. Time now for a DirecTV game break. We take it to Wrigley. Place you know well, Mark. Bronson Arroyo on the mound, and late to win. Takes him deep, solo home run to Witt's first of the season. Bottom of the 6th now in Chicago. Cubs lead the Reds 1-0. Get every MLB game and the most in HD. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Pitchers duel on the north side of Chicago.
Leadoff man on for the Orioles here in the 5th. Nick Markakis Slow roller foul down the first baseline. Markakis with a couple of hits today. 2 of the Orioles' 3 base hits.
He has stung the ball a couple of times. Once to left field, once to center field. Those both came on fastballs, Kenny, and he got a first pitch change up there, and he was way out in front of it, and he falls behind. It's starting to spit a little rain here. But we will not allow a rain delay.
No.
It just won't happen. I will not allow it.
Still raining in Boston. For those of you who have been watching the Red Sox and the Twins, 1-0 lead for the Sox through 2 innings. Not expecting too much rain here in Baltimore. As we check the radar. Gullickson missing high and away.
I'll take it.
1-2 to Markakis. On the ground to the right side. Zobrist over to first as Roberts moves to second. Well, tonight NASCAR on Fox is in Darlington as they go under the lights. Denny Hamlin will try and defend his title, take home his first checkered flag of the year. Coverage of Sprint Cup Series racing begins tonight with the pre-race show delivered by Pizza Hut at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific in high definition right here on Fox.
Who's your pick tonight?
Should I be a front runner?
Yeah, be a front runner. You're going to go with Carl Edwards?
There we go. So check out the Sprint Cup standings.
I'm going to say Dale Earnhardt's going to break his streak. He's going to win tonight under the lights.
I'll hold you to it. We'll be together next week in Los Angeles.
Exactly right. Rain's starting to fall a little heavier now as we speak. It's going to send a few of the people to the shelters. Back-to-back perfect fastballs on the outside corner to get ahead of Derek Lee 0-2.
They played through pretty heavy rains last night here in Baltimore.
Well, Jeff Kellogg, the crew chief of the 4 umpires here, he's just decided, nope, we're going to play.
The 0-2 to Lee bounces away from Jaso. Roberts moves to third.
Breaking ball, Jaso can't get out there in front of it enough. Off the heel of his glove, and chest protector goes, and a free 90 feet there for Brian Roberts.
Orioles no hits with runners in scoring position today. They loaded the bases in the second inning. Could not score. In the dirt, blocked by Jaso, now 2-2.
As the sun reappears here, Camden Yards. And the people will head back to their seats.
No worse for the wear.
Exactly.
To Derek Lee. Check swing. Full count.
Derek Lee somehow, some way was able to lay off a very tough changeup right there from Hellickson. Now this kind of turns into a big pitch for Hellickson.
It will be his 90th pitch of this game. 1 out, bottom of the 5th inning. Payoff pitch to Lee. In for a call, strike 3.
Well, Derek can't believe it, but he'll look at the replay and he'll see that pitch just shaved the outside corner. Just a perfect pitch. Watch the glove of Jaso. Watch where the ball goes. Boom. That's a strike. Once again, Hellickson makes a huge pitch when he needs to.
He strikes out lead for the second time. Derek also grounded into a double play. So a rough day at the plate for Derek Lee. Now 2 outs. Here's Vladimir Guerrero, who walked his last time up for the 3rd time this week.
Beautiful fastball on the inside corner that time from Hellickson.
So Vladimir behind in the count for the first time today.
Now, usually by now his at-bat's over.
3-0 each of his first 2 at-bats. Buck Showalter told us before the game, Vladimir still comes to the ballpark every day with the enthusiasm of a little leaguer. Right field. Catch is made by Joyce. Roberts stranded on 3rd. Through 5 here in Baltimore. 7-0 Rays. Light drizzle here in Baltimore during the last inning, but the sun now
is back out.
Fans have returned to their seats, and the Rays with a 7-0 lead over the Orioles. As John Jaso will step in against Jeremy Accardo, making his 12th appearance of the season for the Orioles.
And if your name is not Jeremy, you cannot pitch today.
The starters,
Jeremy
Guthrie and
Hellickson. Jeremy Guthrie, and now Guthrie turns it over to Jeremy Accardo.
There are no more Jeremys available.
We'll find some in the stands. Here, take the mound.
John Jaso at the plate, walked and scored in the 3rd, called out on strikes in the 4th. Rays have scored all 7 of their runs with 2 outs. 1 in the 1st, 3 in the 3rd, 3 in the 5th. Evan Longoria has driven in 4. B.J. Upton the other 3. Rays have turned things around after the 0-6 start, the 1-8 start. Now 4 games over the 500 mark. They trail the first place Yankees by only 1 game.
Look out over on the left side. That looks like it. The handshake. And the explanation of why I'm going to remove you from this game. You've thrown a lot of pitches. We've got a 7-run lead. And everybody knows there's plenty of fresh arms out in the Tampa bullpen, because most of the time The Tampa Bay starters go pretty deep in the game.
Payoff pitch to Jason. Pops it into left. Scott moving to his right. One away. Today's game on Fox, presented by Lowe's, is sponsored by Chevrolet, proud to support youth baseball across the country. By Michelin, a better way forward. And by DirecTV. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV. One away, here's Sam Fuld. 0 for 3 today. 2 for his last 38. And you know the folks in Chicago and Los Angeles at Stats LLC, formerly known as Stats Inc., are paying close attention to all of Sam's at-bats because he was an intern there back in 2005, helping crunch the numbers. And Sam Fuld, during his terrific start to this season, became somewhat of a folk hero on Twitter. A look at some of the tweets that were sent out during Sam's great start.
Mother birds send her babies to Sam Fuld for flying lessons.
Sam Fuld once threw himself out at home just to see what it was like. The legend of Sam Fuld.
It continues.
Fuld 0 for 4 today, now 2 outs. Here's Ben Zobrist.
Well, when you got off to a rocket start like Sam Fuld did, yeah, you become a bit of a folk hero. 2 for his last 39, though, it's gonna slow down if he's not careful.
Many of those tweets coming from the state of New Hampshire. His dad is a dean at the University of New Hampshire, and his mom is a state senator.
My goodness.
Sam, an economics major at Stanford. Now the starting left fielder.
Family.
Yeah. Starting left fielder for the Tampa Bay Rays. Zobrist takes a called strike, now 2-1. Orioles have not been able to solve Ben Zobrist today. 3 for 3, scored 2 runs.
Beautiful changeup way out in front of that is Zobrist, who is just smashing the baseball here this afternoon.
Payoff pitch from Accardo. Hit number 4 for Ben Zobrist.
Only in the top of the 6th. He's well on his way to doing something very special. 4 for 4 with at least one more at bat. 5-hit games don't grow on trees. I'll bet you our colleague Eric Karros he probably had a bunch of 5-hit games.
For Zobrist, his second 4-hit game in the last 2 weeks.
I was going to say 4-hit games aren't all that easy either.
Career high 4 hits in the first game of that doubleheader in Minnesota, April 28th, where he drove in 8 runs and then had 2 more RBIs in the nightcap. To Johnny Damon. Now 1-2.
A cut fastball right on the outside corner. Beautifully executed there by Accardo.
The third Jeremy to take them out today. Damon Deep right field. Markakis back on the warning track. It's off the wall. Zobrist will score easily. Damon in with a stand-up double. The Rays now lead 8-0. All 8 runs have come with 2 outs.
Johnny Damon got a change up to his liking. It stayed around thigh high, and he took it high off the wall over the head of Nick Markakis. And the Rays continue to pour it on here. There's the changeup, and he gets full extension. Over the head of Markakis it goes, and by the time the Orioles get it corralled, Ben Zobrist scores his 3rd run of the game and the 8th run for these Rays here this afternoon.
24th run batted in this season for Johnny Damon. Six of the 12 Rays hits have gone for extra bases. 4 doubles, 2 home runs. Here's Evan Longoria, who has one of those home runs and has driven in 4.
He got him out of the gate in the 1st inning with an RBI double, and then took a lot of life from these Orioles in the 3rd inning when, with 2 outs, he had a 3-run homers. You look at all those hits Johnny Damon's gotten. Beautiful slider there.
One-two from Ricardo. Slice foul off to the right side. Elite company. First 3 seasons. These guys average 40 doubles, 25 home runs, and 100 runs batted in.
That is extremely elite company.
Shortstop Bandino. Rays are retired in the 6th, but they add to their lead as Damon doubles home Zobrist. Saturday baseball presented by Lowe's from Camden Yards in Baltimore. Bottom of the 6th inning. Tampa Bay Rays leading the Baltimore Orioles 8-0. Rays won last night's game 6-2 as Luke Scott gets set to lead off against Cesar Ramos on in relief of Jeremy Hellickson, who pitched 5 scoreless innings. Ramos came over in that Jason Bartlett deal from San Diego. Attended Long Beach State, where he shared an apartment with Evan Longoria and Troy Tulowitzki.
My goodness.
Pretty impressive roommates.
3 dirt bags right there. That's the nickname of the baseball team out there in Long Beach. The dirt bags. That's a lot of talent in one room.
You play against the Dirtbags?
I did. They were actually the 49ers back when I played them. That's how long ago that's been, yes. But just the baseball team for some reason is...
Really?
Yeah. They are the Dirtbags.
Luke Scott, fly ball center field. Upton. One away. Adam Jones stepping to the plate. Adam wore a microphone for us during batting practice before today's game. Let's listen back.
What's up, Vladdy? ¿Qué lo que contigo? Woo! Vladdy, you gonna drop a bunt down tonight? No chance? Yo entiendo. I hit the ball right shortstop 79% of the time. And then I swing nice and easy, the ball go a la profundo. Come on, Willie. Swing nice and easy. Next round, I'm gonna swing nice and easy.
Giving it to Willie Randolph a little bit there, isn't he? Sounds like he's bilingual with the Espanol as well.
We heard the reference to Vladimir Guerrero potentially laying down a bunt, and Buck Showalter actually told us before the game that Vladimir might be among the best punters on this Orioles squad.
That's exactly what they said. Not only one of the best hitters, but he is without a doubt in Buck's mind the best punter as well on the team. I don't think I've ever seen Vladimir Guerrero bunt though.
That dates back to his days in Montreal early in his career. What did Adam Jones say about grounding out to the shortstop?
I swing hard, I ground out to the shortstop.
99% of the time.
Swing easy, and they'll go out of the ballpark. Well, evidently he swung hard at that one. He grounded out to the shortstop.
So Adam had a premonition. Now 2 away. Here in the Orioles 6th.
Mike Gonzalez getting loose out in the Oriole bullpen.
Here's the catcher, Matt Wieters, who has walked twice today. Hellickson walked 5 Orioles, but did not allow a run. Wieters this time lines out into the glove of Longoria. So through 6 here in Baltimore, Rays lead 8-0. We'll return after these messages from your local Fox station. Park. Red Sox leading the Twins 1-0. We will keep you posted. Here in Baltimore, 8-0 lead for the Rays over the Orioles as Matt Joyce took a called strike one from the veteran left-hander Mike Gonzalez, third Orioles pitcher today. Jeremy Guthrie, the starter, allowed 7 runs in 5 innings. Jeremy Accardo worked the 6th, 11th appearance for Gonzalez.
Starting to throw the ball a lot better. A lot going on out there with Mike Gonzalez. All kinds of rocking and back and forth and zaniness. And he starts to rock. Okay, give me some. Okay, here we go. Gas right by him, strike 3.
Gonzalez, 24 saves for the Pirates, career high back in 2006. Time now for a DirecTV game break. We take you back to Wrigley. Reds and Cubs tied at 1, top of the 7th. Drew Stubbs with an RBI single. And we apologize. We will hope to bring you that video momentarily. But the Reds do have a 2-1 lead in that game over the Chicago Cubs. B.J. Upton, 3-run home run. His last time up off Guthrie. And Upton whips this one into the left field corner. Extra bases for B.J. Upton, his second hit today. So we take you back to our DirecTV game break. There he is, Drew Stubbs up the middle.
We knew we'd get there eventually.
A 2-1 Cincinnati lead. Get every MLB game with the most in HD. Call 1-800-DirecTV. We were talking about all those players from the Norfolk area, and you mentioned Michael Kadire.
Right.
We have received word that Michael Kadire's wife, Claudia, was B.J. Upton's 3rd grade teacher.
Oh, come on.
So it extends from the ball field to the classroom.
Okay, so say they're Michael Kadire's
his wife.
His wife.
Was
that doesn't seem right.
B.J. Upton's 3rd grade teacher. Just passing along the info we were given.
Kadire can't be that much older than B.J. Upton.
B.J. 26. Upton with a double into the left field corner. There's third base umpire Mark Carlson with Casey Couchman at the plate.
Good fastball there to even it up.
Couchman 2 hits today. Rays with 8 runs on 13 hits. Orioles no runs on 3 base hits. Payoff pitch off the end of the bat. Reynolds charging, tries to barehand it. Everybody's safe. Rays have runners on the corners.
Tough play there for Mark Reynolds. Might have had a little more time. Couchman doesn't run overly well. He's got average speed. He might have been able to glove that, but instead he goes for the heroic play, goes for the barehand play, can't make it. And once again, the Rays just continually pressuring the opposing defense.
First and third with 1 out. Here's Reed Brignac. Brignac 0 for 3 today. He and Full, the only Rays starters in this game who have not reached base.
Fastball to the outside corner there from Gonzalez to jump ahead 0-2.
Brignac called out on strikes. Second strikeout for Gonzalez. Time now for the Just for Men Keep Your Edge Spotlight. What a day for Evan Longoria. Double-digit run of the first inning. And then of the third, a 3-run shot, his first home run of the season. Just as Evan Longoria gives the Rays the edge, you too can keep your edge with Just for Men mustache and beard.
You've told me that before.
On many occasions.
And this goatee of mine is starting to get a little more salt than pepper.
Is that your playoff beard?
I just tried to hide as much ugly as possible.
Here's John Jaso with 2 outs. And runners on the corners. Jaso walked and scored back in the 3rd inning. Rays scored a run in the 1st, 3 in the 3rd, 3 in the 5th, 1 more in the 6th. They've now outscored the Orioles in this series 14-2.
Just reared back and went 95 miles an hour right past Jaso. Very talented left arm, and Mike Gonzalez just last couple of years has struggled to find consistency, struggled to find good health as well.
Center field, Adam Jones. Rays strand 2 in the 7th. It is 7th inning stretch time in Baltimore. Dave Miller as they are discussing the weather situation.
They've had a lot of bad weather up there this afternoon. Weather's been great here. Tampa Bay has been the entire story here this afternoon, Kenny.
Tampa Bay Rays leading the Orioles by an 8-0 score. Here is Juan Cruz. to pitch for the Rays. It was the Evan Longoria story early, and then B.J. Upton with a 3-run homer late.
And all the runs with 2 outs today, those are the killers. Those are the daggers to an opponent. When you give up runs with 2 outs, you usually end up winning, or you end up losing that game. So it's just one of those things. It just takes the heart of your opponent every time you score with 2 outs. And boy, Tampa Bay has been red hot at that lately.
Rays winning last night's game 6-2. They lead today 8-0 in the second of this 3-game weekend series, with Mark Reynolds leading off for the Orioles against Cruz after Ramos pitched a 1-2-3 6th.
When you're 2-0, Juan Cruz still one of the harder throwers in the game. But every once in a while, something goofy like that will happen. Mark Reynolds has got his clock cleaned by that up and in fastball. And then you go right to the outside corner. That's like a right-handed version of Mitch Williams right there.
Reynolds fouls it back. Count is now full.
Just above the knuckles of Mark Reynolds. He couldn't hold up. It looks like this ball just above the knuckles. Glad that didn't hit him in his fingers. That's how fingers get broken.
Reynolds draws a leadoff walk. So he heads down to first. Well, join Major League Baseball in going to bat against breast cancer. Purchase your pink bat today at MLB.com, and $10 will be donated to Susan G. Komen for the cure. Specially marked Louisville Slugger pink bats, like those which will be used by Major League players tomorrow on Mother's Day, can be purchased at participating clubhouse and team stores and at MLB.com. And all clubs home tomorrow, Mark, will host a special Mother's Day program, including on-field recognition for their 2011 honorary Batgirl winner. Robert Andino 0 for 2 today.
And all of a sudden, Juan Cruz can't find the plate. He yanks the ball out of Jay So's hand. Didn't really feel like hearing what he had to say, so he goes right back and frowns his way back to the mound. There's a strike.
Two 2-1 to Andino. Cruz missing high and tight. Now 3-1.
If you ever want to drive your manager just bonkers, just take the mound with an 8-run lead coming out of the bullpen and walk the leadoff man, fall behind the next hitter, which turns over to the heart of the order, and that's all 4.
Back-to-back walks issued by Cruz here in the 7th. Today's game, presented by Lowe's, is sponsored by Just for Men Hair Color. Live forward. and by the new 2011 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Kenny Albert, Mark Grace from Camden Yards in Baltimore. Tampa Bay Rays lead the Orioles 8-0. Brian Roberts steps in with runners on first and second. Rays pitchers, Mark, have now issued 7 walks today, but the Orioles have not been able to score a run as of yet.
It seems impossible to leave that many runners stranded, but they have to this point. Let's see if Brian Roberts can find a way to get something on the board here. These Oriole fans haven't had much to cheer about here this afternoon.
Center field, Upton. One away. Reynolds goes from second to third. So the Orioles now have runners on the corners with 1 out. Nick Markakis 2 for 3 today. Has 2 of the 3 Orioles hits. There's Joe Madden, who wanted us to wish a happy Mother's Day to his mom, Beanie, his wife, Jay, his daughter, Sarah, who recently gave birth to Joe's 3rd grandchild.
He's a new granddad again. Congratulations to everybody, and happy Mother's Day.
Joe, a native of Hazleton, Pennsylvania, about 2.5 hours north of Baltimore. His mom, Beanie, is 77. Still works as a waitress at the third base dugout restaurant in Hazleton.
That's awesome.
Off the hand of Cruz. Reynolds scores. Markakis safe at first.
Now you have to hope Juan Cruz's hand is okay. That's his pitching hand. That ball was struck pretty well. I would imagine we're going to get a visit from the trainer. A sharp one hopper. You stick that paw out there like that. I hope he's okay.
3rd hit of the game and a run batted in for Nick Markakis. So with Joe's mom, Beanie, working at the third base dugout, Joe comes out of the third base dugout here at Camden Yards to check on his pitcher.
Absolutely, only fitting. I would imagine, yeah, they're going to have to make a move. Looks like Juan Cruz has hurt that pitching hand enough to have to leave the game. I was going to try it out a lot of times. It's just numb right now. So we're going to see if he gets any feeling back in the... He says he's okay. Bullpen phone very busy right now. Take a listen. Then on top of it, you fall right on your wallet trying to make the play.
So Cruz will hang in there. Derek Lee with 1 out. Runners on first and second. 1 run in for the Orioles here in the 7th. Lee has struck out twice and grounded into a double play.
Cut a fastball there. Derek Lee was way out in front of it. He's had a tough day at the plate today. Grounded into a double play and a couple of strikeouts. He's got a chance to cut this lead in half here and make the Tampa Bay side of things squirm a little bit.
Dino on at second. Markakis over at first. 2-1 from Cruz. Now 2-2.
Beautiful little breaking ball there to even the count. That one froze Derek Lee.
Cruz and Lee, former teammates. Juan Cruz broke in with the Cubs. Two balls, two strikes, one out. Fastball missing inside. The count is full. Vladimir Guerrero looms on deck. Lee pops it up to the right side. Second baseman Zobrist makes the catch, 2 away. Help make a baseball moment kids will never forget. Go to ChevyBaseball.com to support youth baseball. Plus, enter to win one of 4 trips to the 2011 Major League Baseball All-Star Game and the keys to a new Chevrolet. Two away. Here's Vladimir Guerrero. 0 for 2 with a walk today. 2 on, 2 out. Bottom of the 7th inning. Rays lead the Orioles 8-1.
Guerrero a little tardy on that fastball, pretty much right down the middle. I want to make a habit of throwing a pitch right there to Vladimir Guerrero. Even in his older age here, he can still hit it a long, long ways.
Vladimir now 36 years of age, his 16th Major League season. One from Cruz. Wignac with the toss. And the Orioles are retired in the 7th, but they finally score a run. So after 7 here in Baltimore, the Rays lead 8-1. Back in Baltimore with the Rays leading the Orioles 8-1. Sam Fuld leading off for the Rays, top of the 8th inning against Jim Johnson, the veteran right-hander, 4th Orioles pitcher today.
They called that a fair ball. Sam Fuld is officially out.
Fuld tagged out by the catcher Wieters, so a tough afternoon for Fuld. He is now 0 for 5.
He's 0 for 5. He must have thought it hit his foot, but Tim Timmons didn't think it did, and it's right on the line there, and it didn't. I think that's the right call by Tim Timmons.
So Fuld 0 for 5 today, 2 for his last 40.
There's nothing worse than an umpire about 1 foot away from you, just out right in your face.
So on the opposite end of the spectrum, as we take a look at Johnson's numbers, you have Fuld 0 for 5 today. Zobrist at the plate. He is 4 for 4.
Looking for a special day here, possibly a 5-hit game. In my 16 years of Major League Baseball, Kenny, you know how many 5-hit games I had?
None.
1. So he used to say they were very rare for me. So I'd like to see one right here.
And your 5-hit game came against
the San Diego Padres. And we lost.
Zobrist singled in the first, doubled in the third, singled in the fifth, singled in the sixth. He's also scored 3 runs. Speaking of special games, Francisco Liriano with the first no-hitter in Major League Baseball this past week. Jaime Garcia of the Cardinals retired the first 22 Brewers he faced last night. Cliff Lee struck out 16 for the Phillies last night in a loss. 5-0 to the Braves. Phillies only 2 hits. Zobrist retired for the first time today. Well, next week, Fox Saturday Baseball moves to prime time. Red Sox head to the Bronx to take on the Yankees, plus other regional action. It all gets underway at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, prime time baseball on Fox. 2 away. Here's Johnny Damon, who doubled in a run his last time up. Rays scoring all 8 of their runs with 2 outs. Adam Russell up and throwing in the Tampa Bay pen. Damon fouls it off to the left side. Evan Longoria with a 3-run homer in the 3rd. B.J. Upton, 3-run home run in the 5th. And a clarification, we were talking about all those players from Norfolk earlier. Michael Kadyr's wife was actually Justin Upton's teacher.
The baby brother.
Not B.J.
Gotcha. That makes a little more sense.
Another foul back to the screen. Now 2-2 on Damon. Damon reaches out. Coming on in left field to make the catch is Luke Scott. So Johnson retires Tampa Bay in order in the 8th. by your local Lexus dealer. And by Valvoline Next Gen. Bottom of the 8th inning from Camden Yards in Baltimore. Rays leading the Orioles 8-1. 8 runs, 14 hits for Tampa Bay. 1 run, only 4 hits for the Orioles. Right-hander Adam Russell, 4th pitcher of the day for the Rays. Their starter Jeremy Hellickson did not allow a run in 5 innings.
This is one very large human being in Adam Russell.
6'8" to be exact. Luke Scott 0 for 3 today. Adam Russell came over from the Padres in the Jason Bartlett deal we spoke of earlier.
This mountain of a man, hard thrower.
A new look Rays bullpen this season. They hope to have J.P. Howell back soon following shoulder surgery. Rehabbing in the minor leagues.
They had to piece it together, and they certainly have. Kind of the no-name bullpen, if you will. But the American League knows him pretty well. Nice play by Wayne Kirby, the first base coach of the Orioles, on that foul ball.
Two to Scott. And Russell watches as it rolls foul.
Really no choice with all the spin that ball had all over it. Russell went to make the play, and then the ball just scooted away from him in foul territory.
One ball, 2 strike count. Luke Scott leading off for the Orioles here in the bottom of the 8th inning, with the Rays leading 8-1.
And finally, Luke's back in the box.
And he takes ball 2. How intimidating is that to face a 6'8" pitcher?
It is. Then you put him on top of a mound, and it looks like he's reaching halfway home when he's letting it go. I mean, these big old giraffes are just right on you when they're letting the ball go.
You spoke earlier about facing Randy Johnson in that All-Star game. He was also a teammate of yours in Arizona.
Right. He was much more enjoyable to play behind,
I'm sure,
than face. And the back continues. The battle between Scott and Russell.
Tenth pitch of this at bat upcoming, with Adam Jones waiting on deck. Scott will head down to first. Draws a leadoff walk. Well, Tuesday night in Chicago, the first no-hitter of this 2011 season. Francisco Liriano of the Minnesota Twins threw 123 pitches. He walked 6, and it was his first career complete game.
That is truly amazing. The amount of success he's had first complete game. That slider stays up. And that's what you call a real no-hitter there. When it's 1-0, I mean, you make one mistake, it's a tie ball game. And you make any mistakes at all.
Adam Jones, left field. Catch is made by Fold for the first out. Matt Wieters has walked twice and lined out to the third baseman Longoria.
Good fastball there right at the kneecaps of Wieters. Buck hadn't had much to smile about this afternoon. Offensively, his ball club's really struggled. They left a lot of fellas on base.
There's a drive to deep left field. Fold back on the warning track. And Sam Fold has another one for the highlight reel.
Well, if you're not getting any hits, nobody else is either. What a great catch by Sam Fold. We say that a lot when he plays, but oh my goodness, what a great catch. He's fun to watch play baseball. Gives you every ounce of his heart and his soul every single play. That saved 2 runs. That was in the seats.
He might be struggling at the plate, but another sensational catch in left field.
There's always room in Major League Baseball for players like him. That's why warning tracks are there, right? So let the fence know that Sam Fold is coming.
And a low fence in left here at Camden Yards.
Russell jumps ahead of Mark Reynolds, 0-2.
Reynolds has walked twice and struck out. Behind of the count, 0-2.
Seven miles an hour, didn't get the call.
A 1-2 from Russell. Missing high, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Reynolds down on strikes to end the inning. A spectacular catch by Fold to rob Wieters of a home run. We head to the 9th in Baltimore. 8-1. And he will be throwing to Jake Fox. Comes on to catch here in the 9th. Longoria first pitch. Flies out to Markakis in right. There's Fox. Now behind the plate. Greg on the mound, his 12th appearance this season. Has 6 saves.
Always makes it exciting, does Kevin Gregg. But he's been doing a great job closing games for a lot of years. Done it for a few teams now. Most of them with the Florida Marlins.
There's Cesar Asturias, the new shortstop. Felix PA in left. And Robert Andino moves from short to second.
Wholesale changes for Buck Showalter. Everybody going to get a little playing time here in an 8-1 ball game. Nice breaking ball there from Gregg.
Two to Joyce, missing low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Payoff pitch from Gregg. Long run for the left fielder PA. He's under it and makes the catch for out number 2. Time for another DirecTV game break. We take you back to Felix PA's former home ballpark, Wrigley Field. Bottom of the 9th inning. Cubs in comfort behind fashion. Carlos Pena off Francisco Cordero.
That tied it up, and they went on to win it.
3rd home run of the week for Pena.
After going all of April without a long ball. Tampa Bay Ray fans certainly remember from a lot of good years from him as that one's driven.
Upton, deep right center. And it bounces up and over. So Upton with his 3rd extra base hit of the game.
Having himself a heck of an afternoon. Showing big pop the other way. He takes a cut fastball and drives it about 380 feet over the head of Markakis and into the stands on a bounce.
Got to look at Andy Sonnenstein of the Tampa Bay pen. Upton on at second with 2 outs. Top of the 9th inning. Casey Couchman with 3 hits today.
15 hits now for the Rays.
For those of you looking for the Twins and Red Sox, who went through a long rain delay, we will be unable to show you that game due to contractual obligations. For more information, log on to foxsports.com. Red Sox and Twins resuming at Fenway Park.
Just go ahead and ride it on out with us.
We'll keep you here in Baltimore, where the Rays lead the Orioles 8-1. Rays scoring all 8 of their runs in today's game with 2 outs. Evan Longoria got things started with a run-scoring double in the 1st. Then Longoria with a 3-run homer in the 3rd. Upton, a 3-run shot in the 5th. Jeremy Guthrie, the Orioles starter, allowing 7 runs on 10 hits in 5 innings.
That was a tough go for Jeremy Guthrie. Tough go for just about everybody wearing black and orange here this afternoon. Ball forward, Casey Kochman.
Kochman reaching base for the 4th consecutive time. Well, Fox Saturday Baseball is back in prime time next week. Red Sox take on the Yankees, plus other regional action. It all gets underway at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Fox Saturday Baseball in prime time, presented by Lowe's.
Now Reed Brignac, he's along with Sam Fold, the two lonely guys that haven't gotten a base hit here this afternoon. He's still peeking in the candy store. He fell behind 0-1.
Fold 0 for 5 today, but a couple of tremendous plays in the outfield. Brignac is 0 for 4. Longoria has driven in 4. Upton 3 RBIs. Zobrist with 4 hits.
Good breaking ball, 0-2.
Greg, the 5th Orioles pitcher today. Ahead 0-2. 2 on, 2 out. Stop with the 9th inning.
Greg and Fox having a tough time getting together. So we'll step off again and try her again. Okay. Here we go.
Have their signals crossed. You know, we wish happy Mother's Day greetings earlier. How about a happy birthday? Willie Mays turned 80 yesterday.
Oh, say hey. 80 times. Happy birthday, Willie.
Once again, Fox out for a visit with Greg.
I'm sure Fox asking Kevin Greg, man, how many pitches do you have? He got his answer, and here we go. We'll try it again.
Greg quickly off the mound with the toss to retire Brignac. We head to the bottom of the 9th here in Baltimore. Welcome back to Fox Saturday Baseball, presented by Lowe's from Camden Yards in Baltimore. Kenny Albert with Mark Grace, bottom of the ninth inning. Rays leading the Orioles 8-1 as Robert Andino leads off against Adam Russell. Andino 0 for 2, walked his last time up in the seventh. Orioles have had chances to score runs.
Lots of chances.
They did score their run in the seventh, but they've left 10 men on base, loaded the bases in the second inning. Left 2 on in the seventh after scoring their only run.
That one just missed outside. But you've had 7 walks issued by the Ray pitching staff today. And to their credit, they made the pitches when they needed to. But when another team gives you that many free passes, you've got to kick the door in. And Baltimore just didn't do it today.
Orioles just 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. They have only 4 base hits. 7 walks issued by Tampa Bay pitchers today.
Make it 8.
Andino walks for the second time. Time for a DirecTV game break. We showed you the tying run in Chicago, the Carlos Pena home run. Here's how the Cubs run it. Postgame Fukudome with an RBI single, scoring late to win. Cubs over the Reds 3-2. Cubs scoring 2 in the bottom of the ninth. And with Andino on at first, Jake Fox batting for the first time today. Just 3 for 28 this season.
Had a huge spring training, made the club out of spring training. Seemed to homer just about every at-bat in March. It hadn't been as much fun so far this season, but a guy that can really come off the bench and hurt you.
10 home runs and 74 at-bats this spring. Led all of baseball with those 10 home runs. Fox drills this one to deep left field. It's off the wall, fielded by Fold. Fox heading for second, and he is in. So the Orioles have runners in second and third with nobody out.
Well, that ball was absolutely scalded by Jake Fox. Even Sam Fold couldn't run that one down. It was hit so hard, right off the middle of the wall. Let's take a look at the pitch he gets. Fastball right down Broadway. Fox smashes it right off the top of the wall. Folds right there. And the Oriole faithful have a little something to be happy about.
And that will be all for Adam Russell. Here comes Brandon Gomes out of the Rays pen. Here's 26-year-old right-hander Brandon Gomes out of Tulane University. Closed out the game last night. He's faced 7 hitters so far this season and has not allowed a base hit. Comes into the game with runners on second and third, nobody out. And Nick Markakis at the plate.
Orioles trying to make a late run here. A couple of quick base runners here in the 9th inning, still nobody out. Now Gomes coming in trying to put out this fire. They've been put out all afternoon by Ray pitching. Markakis, he's looking for his 4th hit of the ball game.
Okay.
Right by him with a fastball. No fear shown there.
Excuse me, Mark. Gomes also came over in that Bartlett deal from San Diego. So we've seen 3 pitchers today, Gomes, Ramos, and Russell, who were all part of that trade. On to the Markakis. Long run for Fold. He's under it. He makes the catch. Andino tags. He will score. Sacrifice fly. Second RBI today. 13th of the season for Markakis. It's now an 8-2 game. And it is time for yet another DirecTV game break. They have resumed play in Boston. Kevin Youkilis off the monster. Bottom of the 3rd inning. RBI single for Youkilis. They are now in the 4th. Red Sox lead the Twins 2-0. So another long rain delay. How about the game earlier this week in Boston that ended at 2:45 in the morning?
2:45 a.m.
Here's Derek Lee, who has not
Hadn't had much fun today.
No, he's not gotten the ball out of the infield. Two strikeouts, a pop out, and grounded into a double play.
Gas right by him, 95 miles an hour from the 3/4 angle. Brandon Gomes just coming out. Here, let's play hardball.
Fox, the runner on second. 1 out, bottom of the 9th inning.
Shaved the outside corner a couple of times. He's missed with him. It's 2-2 now.
Brandon Gomes, 5th race pitcher in this game. Starter Jeremy Hellickson did not allow a run in 5 innings. In line for his 3rd win of the season. Two to Lee, a called strike 3. So Derek Lee strikes out for the 3rd time today.
Derek Lee just had to have been looking for an off-speed pitch or something. I mean, that is a fastball right down the middle. He was just frozen by it. So he'll finish off a tough day. I mean, this just splits the middle of the plate. It's a bad feeling as a hitter when you see that thing go by and you just know that right arm of the umpire is coming up.
So now the Orioles down to their final out. Vladimir Guerrero takes ball 1. 0 for 3 with a walk. Rays leading 8-2. Evan Longoria, 4 runs batted in. BJ Upton, a 3-run home run. Rays started the season 0-6. A win today would bring Tampa Bay to 19-8 since that season opening 6-game losing streak. Pitch gets away from Jaso. Roberts moves to 3rd.
Gomes just yanks this one across. It's really one J-So will tell you he should have caught that. Probably goes a wild pitch, though.
It did. Now 2-1 to Guerrero. He did not go around, says first base umpire Jeff Kellogg. A 3-1 from Gomes. Strike called, full count.
A lot of 3-ball counts on Vladimir Guerrero here this afternoon. I think that's 3 times now. That's a good month for him.
After not drawing a walk, his first 115 plate appearances this season. Payoff pitch to Guerrero and he fouls it off.
And that one took a large bite out of Tim. Tim is the home plate umpire. These guys take a beating. Catcher's umpires right on the collarbone area there. Ouch. He's a tough guy.
Fouled off to the right side. Great job by our entire crew today here in Baltimore, led by producer Carol Langley McDermott, director Ray Tipton, associate director Kathy Hunt, broadcast associate Jordan Wolf, and the pregame show produced by Don Bowie. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th inning. Payoff pitch from Gomes, another foul. Tampa Bay Rays, 8 runs, 15 hits, no errors. Baltimore Orioles, 2 runs, only 5 hits, and 1 error. Orioles have walked 7 times. They've left 10 men on base.
Well, they're having a good long battle here. Guerrero saying, I'm not making the last out of the game. That was one of my pet peeves. I really, really hated making the last out of the game. That would make me not sleep very well that night. You don't want to be that guy that causes everybody to shake hands.
Tenth pitch of this at bat. It is ball 4. Yet another walk. So the Orioles stay alive. Now have runners on the corners with 2 outs.
Pretty amazing. Makes you wonder if Jim Presley, a hitting coach, may have talked to him and said, hey, by the way, wouldn't hurt you to maybe take a pitch or 2 here and there and draw a walk. Felix P.A. is going to get an opportunity here.
P.A. batting for the first time today, hitting .250 this season. Guerrero goes. No throw from J-So.
Oriole faithful still making a lot of noise here this afternoon. Looking for a miracle.
The 0-1 to P.A. Now 0-2. Fox the runner on third. Guerrero on at second. 2 outs, bottom of the 9th inning. No balls, 2 strikes with Felix P.A. at the plate. Rays looking to close this one out following last night's 6-2 win. Two from Gomes. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Having trouble getting that elusive third out, or the 27th out, if you will. Is Gomes. Is Kyle Farnsworth. Tossing lightly out there right now. I'm sure Bill Madden would love to not use Kyle Farnsworth here this afternoon.
The 2-2, PA swings and misses. That will do it. The Tampa Bay Rays with their second consecutive victory here in Baltimore, thanks in large part to Evan Longoria and B.J. Upton. Rays defeat the Orioles 8-2. Our Valvoline Next Gen play of the game. B.J. Upton, 5th home run of the season, his first on the road in the 5th inning. That extended the Rays lead to 7-0. Rays scoring all 8 of their runs today with 2 outs. Helix in the win. Guthrie takes the loss. We'll return to Baltimore in just a moment.